in a timely manner. Oh, there you are. In time, sometime, out of time. Someone is on time, someone is timeless. Someone is trying to buy some time. Someone is trying to buy your time. Someone asks for a minute of your time. Time is all you got, baby. What are you doing with it, altar boy? Dripping your wax away? I'm gonna start a new religion. The Guinness Book of World Records is going to be our Bible, and Guinness Stout is going to be our communion wine. We're going to get slightly tipsy, attempt to break records, in honor of our great-grandfathers, brown bodies with blonde heads. What is the sound of one man napping? What is the sound of one man walking on a tightrope, stretched between the Freedom Tower and a minaret in Kabul? Oh look, there's Kamala Harris greasing up the cable. And there's Joseph biding his time with his slippery slippers, thinking, I could have been retired already. But a certain exhausted, entitled ambition brought me here. It should be Hillary Clinton on a bicycle, on a chair, dancing backwards like Ginger Rogers up there. I'm supposed to be the new FDR, not the old Neville Chamberlain. This is no fun at all. Peace in our time. I'm gonna let it run. Here's the history part. Let me turn you down a little bit. Chamberlain's aeroplane landed at the Heston Aerodrome on 30 September 1938, and he spoke to the crowds there. The settlement of the Czechoslovakian, probably with an English accent, the settlement of the Czechoslovakian problem, which has now been achieved, is, in my view, only the prelude to a larger settlement in which all Europe may find peace. This morning I had another talk with German Chancellor Herr Hitler, and here's the paper which bears his name upon it as well as mine. Shows paper to crowd. Some of you perhaps already heard what it contains, and I would just like to read it to you. We regard... I read it off the monitor. We regard the agreement signed last night and the Anglo-German naval agreement as symbolic of the desire of our two peoples never to go to war with one another again. Later that day, he stood outside 10 Downing Street, again read from the document, and concluded, My good friends, for the second time in our history, a British Prime Minister has returned from Germany bringing peace with honor. That's H-O-N-O-U-R. That's how they spell it there. I believe it is peace for our time. We thank you from the bottom of our hearts. Go home and get a nice quiet sleep. On January 22nd, 1917, Woodrow Wilson stood before a joint session of Congress and an audience that included his wife Edith and one of his daughters, and told the politicians that America must maintain its neutrality in the Great War ravaging Europe at the time. He laid out a vision for a just and peaceful world, a future that included free seas, an international agreement to avoid arms races, a United States that served as a peace broker, and most important of all, peace without victory. Because, after all, victory would mean peace forced upon a loser, a victor's terms imposed upon the vanquished, Wilson said. Probably, no, I'm going to go into FDR. That would be wrong. I don't know what Wilson sounded like. It would be accepted in humiliation, under duress, and at intolerable sacrifice, and would leave a sting, a resentment, a bitter memory upon which term of peace would rest not permanently, but only as upon quicksand. Which, of course, one might say is kind of true. After World War I, those Germans were so upset. This is from Nixon's 1972 acceptance speech. My fellow Americans, like Ringo Starr. My fellow Americans, the peace dividend that we hear so much about has too often been described solely in monetary terms. How much money we could take out of the arms budget and apply to our domestic needs. By far the biggest dividend, however, is that achieving our goal of a lasting peace in the world would reflect the deepest hopes and ideals of all the American people. Lincoln quoted, speaking on behalf of the American people, I was proud to be able to say in my television address to the Russian people in May, we covet no one else's territory. We seek no dominion over any other nation. We seek peace, not only for ourselves, but for all the people of the world. I think that's pretty groovy. Of course, it came from Nixon, secret Cambodian bomber. Okay, Kissinger. They try to tell us that war is unthinkable. I mean, world war is unthinkable, but really, war is very thinkable. We plan it, we plan for it, we make excellent weapons, we make rules for it, and then we go ahead and have it. That's not an explosion, ladies and gentlemen. That is not a mushroom cloud. There's a beautiful artwork by Judith Ann Braun. Get your own t-shirt. That's mine. What's unthinkable is peace. What's really unthinkable is world peace. It's a frightening thought. Because what does that mean? Cooperation? What about competition? What about competing interests? What about mine? Not to mention America first. What about a million years of evolution teaching us how to take what we want? Is that why Kennedy was killed? And the machine wouldn't allow for it? Readers who actually pick up Robert McNamara's book may experience a shock when they scan the table of contents and see this summary of Chapter 3 titled The Fateful Fall of 1963, August 24th to November 22nd, 1963. All right. Chillax. Oh, wait till they do this with costumes and editing. Forget about it. A pivotal period of U.S. involvement in Vietnam punctuated by three important events. The overthrow and assassination of South Vietnam's President Ngo Dinh Diem, President Kennedy's decision on October 2nd to begin the withdrawal of U.S. forces. What? And his assassination 50 days later. You'd hardly think conspirators could put together a whole plan in 50 days. Yeah, so it's a controversial point whether he actually was planning, and here's the Secretary of Defense, Robert McNamara, in his book now, mea culpa-ing all over the place for history, saying that he indeed was planning that. I don't have any cute final thoughts to wrap this thing up. Peace! I'm looking into it. It's about time. That's how I wrapped it up, because I started with the theme of time. And any minute now I'm going to shut this off and you'll say goodnight and you'll be so much happier. Amen. God bless planet Earth. You know what I mean. God, Earth, God. Earth, God, Earth, God. It's fine. There may be no God. There may be no Earth. This may be all a computer simulation. Programmers and algorithm, bless the players. And bye.